Spirit 105.3. Hi, who's this amazing person?
Erica, this is Patrick Mayberry.
It's so fun to talk with you. How are you doing?
The best. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing so well. You want to know why? Because I just listened to your new song, Lead On, Good Shepherd.
Get out of here.
Can I just please put this on the radio right now? How awesome is this song?
Let's go. Come on.
I mean,
you're pumping me up right now.
I'm so happy to hear it because that's what you just did for me and my spirit. I mean, Patrick, this song sounds so good, and the meaning behind it for me, not only do we have a shepherd who's willing to guide us, but he's good. What does that mean for us?
Oh, man. This idea, I mean, it's totally Psalm 23, but I feel like I have always heard Psalm 23 used, honestly, a lot of times at funerals.
Yeah.
And it's a comforting verse, and we just kind of flipped it on its head. And the song, it feels like Jesus really is the good shepherd. Like, I don't feel like there's a promise of smooth sailing. I feel like following Jesus, there's going to be storms, and there's going to be mountains, and there's going to be valleys, and there's going to be awful diagnoses, job losses, just life is dicey and tricky. And it's not promised that it's all going to be like sunshine and roses. But the greatest news of it all is that we have this promise of Jesus, the Good Shepherd, who is going to walk alongside us and protect us with his rod and staff. And he anoints our head with oil. He prepares a table for us, a feast for us in the presence of our enemies. And he has us lay down in green pastures. So the crux of the song is like, well, you've done this much. I've seen your goodness. I've seen who you are. So I'm with this guy. I trust him. Like, lead on, Good Shepherd, into the great unknown.
It's like an anthem, and it's such a reminder, like you were saying, a message of life, not always just for death. Like, goodness and mercy are going to follow us every day of our lives.
Totally. Yeah.
Wow, what if we could get a hold of that, Patrick? Because something that I'm really focused on this summer, and I want to ask you what God is showing you this summer, is that he is good no matter what. That doesn't change regardless of the news that you hear.
Yes, you nailed it. That's what the Lord has been teaching me so much this last season is, for the longest time, I was viewing God's faithfulness, his miracle, in the act of doing whatever big thing was in my way, or, Lord, would you please work this thing out? God, would you please fix this thing? Or I'm praying things don't go that way. Would you please do that? And it's kind of those big, God, could you part the Red Sea? And I'm finding that while I still very much pray for those things and believe God does those things, I was putting so much energy in, no, if that happens, then God is faithful, God is good.
Yes.
That is the promise of God. But what the Lord has been teaching me is actually the greatest miracle of all is his promise to never leave us or forsake us. And it's his faithfulness is literally his presence always with us, walking alongside us in the valleys, on the mountains. That shepherd, like, who will never leave us. And so, yeah, that's exactly kind of the season I've been in. And I'm just like digging my heels into that hope that I don't know what the future holds, but I know God's walking with me every step of the way. So bring it on.
Yes. I'm digging my heels right next to you there in the dirt. And I feel like, it's funny. I love the name of your album, Wild Faith, because I get this picture of wildflowers growing in the dirt. So often it's like faith is abstract. Have more faith, keep the faith, like a stained glass window. And I feel like God works in the dirt of our lives, Patrick, and he gives us just a little bit of light for our feet and our path. He doesn't show us the whole way. So how is he growing your faith in the dirt of life right now?
Oh, man, so many ways. Just with, like, life stuff, just some weird health things going on with my parents and just navigating some new things with me and my wife and our kids, just our life and where we are. I just feel like God has kind of let us, it's funny, I feel like the actual song, which Wild Faith, which is the title of the whole album, was a song I thought I was writing for other people about faith isn't a safe, tidy little thing, but following Jesus is actually kind of crazy and can lend itself to being dangerous. And is not comfortable. And it's kind of like that Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where they're talking about Aslan. They're like, well, is he safe? And they're like, no, are you kidding me? He's not safe, but he's good.
Yes.
And it's kind of that idea. You know, we were excited about throwing that message out that following Jesus is crazy. And then I feel like the Lord was like, you thought you were writing this for other people, but buddy, this is for you. And so it's funny how that happens. But it really has been a song that has served my family in this season. And it's neat how God kind of uses our own songs to kind of minister to us in seasons we're walking through. So I'm really hopeful that as people hear it, they're invited into a deeper sense of knowing who God is, but also who they are, who we are as humans, full of all the weird insecurities and fears and doubts and walking through life and trying to do it well and follow Jesus as best we can. And I just hope that people are encouraged. I hope they find human traits in the album and in the songs that invite them into a just deeper sense of being seen for who they are, but also kind of a freedom of like, man, we're not meant to be these perfect religious robots. We're meant to be human beings full of emotion and full of feelings, but also like fully surrendered to Jesus and following that great adventure of faith and asking God how he wants to use us daily in our lives and in our communities and our churches. So I'm so pumped about it.
I'm so pumped with you, and you encourage this people right here, so thank you for that. Patrick, what has been the best thing that's happened to you this summer? Like, what is going to set summer of 2023 apart for you?
Oh, man. Okay, so I have 4 kids, 12, 10, 9, and 6.
Woo!
And then this last year, they were all at the same elementary school, which was a dream. But my oldest, my daughter, is moving up to the big middle school this year. So that's pretty wild. So we marked this summer as like kind of a big, we don't have little kids anymore. Like my wife said it the other day, like our kids are growing up. So we went to Disney World this summer, which was our first time doing that as a family. And it was so much fun and so exhausting.
Yep.
But I was like praying, and I like asked the Lord for a moment with each kid somewhere in the trip that we would both feel like was like, oh, that's a core memory I'll never forget. And I feel like we got a lot of really awesome memories from our trip. So that was definitely like one for the books.
Yes.
And it's just been a great summer. My family, we live for summer. We love the loose structure, and we love going to the neighborhood pool, and we just love warm weather and being with our neighbors and our friends, sitting outside, hanging out. So it's a great summer. But school for us starts back this next Friday.
Oh, no.
It's a little bittersweet, but I'm not going to lie. We're like, our kids are so excited. They love school. And then my wife is like, I am so excited for them to go back to school.
It's funny how there's a time for every season. There's a season for everything. Patrick Mayberry, it is a joy having you back on Spirit 105.3. Come back soon, okay?
Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much for having me.